Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. Goodness. I just had to look at the time. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Inner Edge Live Weekly. As we are having people pop in, first off, I would love for you to interact and say, hey, let me know that you're in the room. And then if you're catching a replay, say replay. I am here and let me know that you joined and got some value, okay? So we're going to go ahead and kick it off again, what we normally do, which is one word that describes how your leadership energy feels this week. Woo, I'm gonna be honest with you. My word kind of changed um for today. So I'll go ahead and share mine. Mine's is present. And this morning, on my way to church, I was actually in a car accident. And I'm okay, but it's very interesting with what our topic is about today. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit, okay? It did rattle me, it did shake me. But I realized the old me would have spiraled. I would have snapped at the tow truck guy when he came to pick my car because I couldn't drive it. I probably would have canceled today's session altogether. But something different happened. I didn't outlash. I didn't go off. When the driver, stepped up to me, even though it was his fault, he T-boned me. He hit me not paying attention. He gassed right into the side of where my son was. I paused. I took a breath and I chose how I was going to show up. Not because I am always calm, right? But because I built emotional awareness to catch myself before I blow up, right? And so I'm showing up still. And if you're here today and you're running on fumes or you're frustrated, right? Know that you're not alone and know that your emotional intelligence isn't just a leadership skill, a leadership skill. It is an energy shield, okay? Quick question, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm running on fumes, 1 being the lowest energy, or you know what, let's do 1 to 10. 10, I'm running on fumes, 1 being I'm not, right? How would you rate your leadership energy right now? Drop your number in the chat. No judgment, just awareness of where you're at right now. No judgment, just awareness. Go ahead and drop a 1 to 10 in the chat. If um, 10 being I'm running on fumes, 1 being I'm not. So 1 is the lowest, 10 being the highest, okay? As far as how you feel about running on fumes right now. And what's interesting is how many leaders live in the middle to low range, right? Without realizing it's draining their effectiveness, not just at home, but also in the workplace. Most importantly, where you're producing, right? And today we're going to talk exactly about how emotional intelligence can change that. If I didn't have these tools, I would have missed out on opportunities because I had some very pivotal, important business meetings today. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without these tools today. I would have missed an opportunity. I used to listen to Eric Thomas, and he used to talk about how one phone call, one opportunity, one non showing up could literally cost you 1 to 5 years. And for you, it may be emotion. It may be that negative energy cost you that that VP role, right? That one action totally deteriorating the rest of your years. Again, welcome. This is the Leadership Energy Playbook. So interesting that this is a topic. How emotional intelligence prevents leadership burnout. Okay. And again, I am Nikki, and we're zooming in on one skill. It's emotional awareness and how it shapes and manages your leadership energy so that you're just not busy, you're effective. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you end most days emotionally exhausted, but you're unsure if you're actually moved the needle? Like you feel like you left it all out on the table, but then you're like, did I really accomplish anything? Did I really achieve what I set out to do? Now, I have been virtually working for some time now, and I've recently began working with the organization about 2 months ago, well, 3 months ago, and their security is a little bit different than usual. Um, they've provided all of my materials and so forth. And on Saturday, when I showed up to do my task, about 4 hours was spent on tech issues that was really um, overbearing, right? If I would have kept pushing through, I would have left unfulfilled and I probably would have not accomplished anything, right? So what I did was I applied my skill sets to the situation, and then I showed back up energized. I maximized those last 4 hours and achieved more than I would have achieved on a normal 8 hour day, right? So think about that. Are you emotionally as exhausted and feel like you never felt the needle? Another is, are your days filled with activity but light on measurable culture change? So let's just say, are you doing all the things, but your culture, your environment is not getting any value? No one's feeling the shift. No one feels what you're trying to accomplish within the organization. You're just moving without purpose. Are you feeling that? And lastly, if you had more emotional energy, where would you invest if you're when would you invest it for your biggest impact? So I worked with a department, right? A department head who was constantly in back-to-back meetings, solving everyone's problems. She wore busyness like it was a badge of honor. But she was running on empty, y'all, all day. We sat down and we mapped out her emotional energy patterns. She began to realize that most of her day she was spending on low impact work that completely drained her. So she shifted the focus on developing her team's emotional intelligence and creating a psychological safety where she was able to be high impact, where she was able to have high impact work that energized her, right? And for months later, her team was solving conflicts on their own. The culture scores went up when we were checking, right? And she left work with energy instead of exhaustion. Like a CEO. A lot of executives don't take in this word that I like to use. It's called entrepreneur, right? So an entrepreneur is somebody who goes out, ventures, build their own thing. But an entrepreneur, it's with an I instead of an E. They take ownership of their role. They act like the CEO of their organization within their they with their team within their organization, right? They act like it's their own book of business. A CEO is not out there doing multi little tasks that are draining them. They're focusing on what thrives them. And they're leveraging people like you to be able to move the needle. And so you need to take that whole mindset as well when you are looking to employ that within your organization. So let's talk about why emotional awareness is key to energy management, right? First things first is it helps you identify which activities energizes you versus drains you. It keeps you from burning energy on low impact work, and it improves decision making when you're under pressure, right? And so some practical tips that you can try this week is one, check your energy, right? Do an energy audit. Track what ener- track what tasks that you're doing that energizes you versus drains you for the whole week, right? And then you're going to do what I love to call, which is an EI priority matrix, where you're going to have the important plus emotionally energized, right? You're going to task that and you're going to do more of it. Then you're going to have another category, important plus draining. You're going to schedule that intentionally. Urgent but low impact, you're going to delegate it. And if it does neither, if it's neither of these, you just completely eliminate it. And then you're going to set emotional boundaries. I'm laughing because we hear that word all the time. But what does it really, really mean? You're going to protect your time for high impact, energizing work, and say no to requests that keep you stuck in reaction mode. So, your challenge this week, identify your top 3 high impact leadership activities that actually change culture, right? You're going to protect your energy by setting one boundary and around a low impact demand. You're going to choose one task you can delegate as a development opportunity for someone else. And if you want to see how this connects to a complete system for your sustainable leadership, let's do a personalized lunch and learn with your team, right? We'll map out your leadership energy patterns, uncover where burnout risk is hiding, and we'll give you the tools to manage energy while you drive results. It's not a sales pitch, it's a strategic conversation with real applicable insight. A lot of times, teams bring in outside voices in order to increase and enhance their productivity. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the top organizations that are in the top 3 to 5%. 100% of them delegate 30% of their leadership training to outside companies that come in because they have eyes that they may not see. They have a vision that they may not be able to see for the team. It's harder when you're in the picture, right? It's harder when you're in the frame. And so being busy isn't just the same as being effective. So when you manage your leadership energy with your emotional intelligence, you create sustainable results, a stronger culture, and a team that can thrive without you running on fumes. You need to practice your emotional awareness this week, protect your energy, and invest it where it actually moves the needle. And until next time, lead with awareness, manage energy intentionally, and create workplace transformation that lasts. After this, we are going to be going to our info session. If you have not registered for our info session, I see we have quite a few for today. You are going to go ahead and go to eiready.com/info. And I will see you in 30 minutes where we can share how we can apply emotional awareness within your organization and talk a little bit more about the lunch and learn and what a personalized experience looks like for your team. Bye for now, and thank you for joining and tuning in.